Hi, I'm Michael G, also known as MKG, and I'm here to talk to you about what it means to jam. There's a specific definition of a game jam that I like from the Game Jam subreddit. Actually, it's Game Jam is an accelerated game development event where jammers make a game in a short amount of time. Jammers are the people participating in a game jam. But really, game jams are a place where you get to express creativity, share your love for game creation. You get to explore, create, test, and learn about game development. It's very similar to prototyping. Prototype being a quick preliminary version of a game or a project. And these game jams often result in a prototype or honestly a full game. You see a lot of full games come out of game jams. The whole game jam event usually mimics and follows a game development process. Some good questions to ask your students at this point could be what they think a game jam is. You could ask them what they're looking to get out of a game jam. It'd also be good to explain, what are some of the kind of game jams that exist out there now? Well, first of all, game jams have evolved tremendously, and there's got to be, hundreds of them happening every year now. Many have themes, purposes, directions. For example, there's the Climate Game Jam, which talks about or has you create games about climate change. There's plenty of holiday-themed jams. There's the Train Jam Game Jam from GDC, the Game Developers Conference, which every year conference attendees travel on a train from Chicago to California, and during those few days they work together to create a game, which is then showed off at GDC. It'd be good to talk to your students about the roles in a game jam. There are many roles that can exist, and they're also often very close to what you see in game development, although not all have to exist in every game jam. It really depends on the game you're making. But some of these roles include designer, artist, programmer, producer, audio engineer, voice actors. Many of the times the jammers have to wear multiple hats, which also means wearing multiple roles or taking on multiple roles, which is actually one of the more exciting and interesting parts of a game jam. You get a chance to really go out of your comfort zone, and maybe you find something else that you have a passion for. The results of a game jam, it'd be good to explain to kids, it's not just a video game that you're going to make. You're making a game, and a game can be kind of a loose term. Sometimes they're physical games, if you think like paper games or board games or card games. Sometimes they are digital, built with game engines like Unity or Unreal or even other tools like GameMaker or Scratch. Like, those are totally not out of the question. At this point, it would be good to have an activity for the kids. So you'll want to hand out at least one object. Maybe it's a bag of small objects to each student. Think of these objects like maybe like a playing card or a dice or like a piece of paper, or just something more mundane. And ask each student to create their own game within a few minutes. You don't need to give them too much time. Afterwards, have them share and play with the person next to them. Get a chance to explain the rules and play each other's games. And then, congratulations! The students have effectively participated in a game jam. It's a very brief one, a very short one, but they jammed on a game. In your more typical game jams, you'll want to explain that they'll often get more time to actually add things to their game, collaborate with others, use different tools. They'll be able to test and then iterate on their game, so on and so forth. But sometimes in game jams, they're given more limitations. In this case, in the activity, we had given them, an object or a handful of objects. But other limitations could be put on, like you have to follow a theme. You have to use a certain tool, maybe have a specific style. It's kind of like a game in and of itself. You kind of have like a rule set and a goal. Your goal is to create a game in a game jam. So to wrap up, what does it mean to jam? To jam is to create a game.